friends, today's topic is linear equation in one variable. As we already covered five parts based on this chapter, that is linear equation in one variable, and this is the sixth part of the chapter, linear equation in one variable. So let's see what's new that we are going to learn today in this video lecture. Yes, so let's begin the video. Yes, five word problems I have taken in this video. So be calm and try to understand and settle down yourselves and be patient to learn the five word problems over here. Yes friends, our first word problem is there is a narrow rectangular plot reserved for a school. Yes, a rectangular plot is to be reserved for a school in Mauli village. Rectangle, that means it must be talking about area or perimeter of that. Yes, so let's begin it. The length and breadth of the length and breadth is given are in the ratio 11 and 44. Yes, so length is, we'll always take 11x and breadth will take as 4x because ratio is given. So the first thing that we are doing is we'll make it and give it x. At the rate of 100 per meter, it will cost the village panchayat rupees 75,000 to fence the plot. Fence. Yes friends, here it is talking about the fencing. So with the help of the diagram, let's try to solve and get the fence over here so that we can understand it properly and deeply. So this is the rectangular plot. Yes friends, I hope you all might be getting it now. What is to be said? Fencing is to be done. Fencing is to be done on the rectangular plot. That means fencing can be done on the boundaries. Yes friends, fencing we are doing on the boundaries only. We are not doing fencing inside the boundary or inside it. So that means we have done the fencing like this. That means we have done it on the boundaries. So this is the fencing that we are doing friends. I hope you all might be getting it, that what do fencing means. I hope you all might be clear with that. Yes, now for fencing, that means on the boundaries if we are doing anything. So what we are using, we are always using it as perimeter. So let's write the perimeter of the rectangular field. Perimeter of rectangular field we all know is equals to 2 into L plus B. This is the perimeter of rectangular field. I am writing over here two value of L we have already suggested, that is 11x, and for breadth it is, sorry I have written B only, but value for B was what we assume. We assume the value for B as 4x. Yes friends, so I am writing over here that value for B was 4x. Yes, now perimeter is equals to 2 into 15x. That means perimeter we have got as 30x. 30x is our perimeter that we will keep in our mind, or we will write over here that the perimeter we have found is 30x. I am writing over here so that we don't have to remember it, otherwise we will forget that what was the perimeter, then we will need to solve it again. I hope you all might be getting it till now, that perimeter of rectangular part is 30x. Yes friends, so let's solve it further. Now what is to be given? At the rate of 100 per meter, it will cost the panchayat. Total cost is given, so total cost is rupees 75,000 and the cost of per meter is 100. Now the perimeter we are not knowing in meters, but we are knowing in terms of x. So two things we can do. We can multiply 100 with this perimeter, that is 30. What we can do friends? 30x should be multiplied with 100 because this is the perimeter and that should cost of 1 meter is 100. So after multiplying each and every meter with 100, we will result or get the total cost as 75,000. Yes friends, this thing we can do, or the other thing we can do is, first let's solve with this method only. 30x equals to 75,000 upon 100. So let's cancel 20. That means 750 is equals to 30x equals to 750. So what would be the value of x? 750 upon 30. Yes friends, so we will get the value of x as 25. Yes, this is the one method that we have got the value of x as 25. Now the other thing what we can do friends, we can just find the length and breadth. Length equals to, what is the length? 11x. That means 11 into 25 we can do. 11 into 25 will result in, what it will result in? It will result in 275. So the length of the rectangular field is 275 meter, and the breadth also we can find it. Similarly we will find the breadth over here. So I am finding breadth over here, that is breadth is equals to 4x. That means 4 multiplied by 25 That means 100 meter, that can be our breadth. So this is our breadth and this is our length. Now what are the dimensions of the plot? That is the thing that is to be asked to us. That means we need to find length and breadth of the given rectangular field, as we have already done it. Our length is 275 meter and breadth is 100 meter. I hope you all might be getting it, friends. Now what we are supposed to do? The other method I have told you. So I'm writing so that we don't get confused. I'm again writing that length we have got. What we have got? The length we have got as 275 meter and breadth as 100 meter. I am writing over here. Yes, so let's solve with the other method and try to get it. What was the other method that we were doing in our previous classes? That method can also be done over here. What is to be given, friends? Total cost is 75,000. This was the total cost and the cost per meter is 100. So we'll first cancel that. So what we'll get? We'll get it as 750 is the cost of 30x. So 30x cost will become 750. Now value for x would be 750 upon 30. That we can cancel and we'll get as 25. Again we are getting the value of x as 25, and again the length and breadth would be 275 and 100 meter only. So this method can also be done. I hope you all might be getting it, friends. And this was the easy type of sum as we have done it this in previous classes also. And if you have liked my content, don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel. Yes, friends, so let's begin with the second part for the day, or the second question for the day, that is written over here. So let's begin with that. I hope you all have understood the first question very properly. So let's begin with the second question for the day. Hassan buys two kinds of cloth material for school uniform. Hassan is a person who is buying or selling cloth materials for school uniforms. Shirt material cost him 50 per meter and trouser material that cost him for 90. So for our future reference, we am writing that shirt material cost him 50 rupees, rupees 50 per meter. I am writing over here, and for trouser it is rupees 90 per meter. So that we don't need to read it again, I am writing over here. The cost of shirt is rupees 50 per meter and cost of trouser is rupees 90 per meter. For every 2 meter of trouser, he buys 3 meters of the shirt. That means for stitching or for selling a school uniform, he sells 2 meters for the trouser cloth and 3 meter of the shirt cloth. Yes, friends, he sells the materials at 12% and 10% profit. He's talking about that. He sells the material at 12% profit for what? 12% profit for trouser. Yes, because how we can get it, that it is about talking about trouser only, because here it is mentioned trouser is mentioned first and shirt is mentioned afterwards. Here also for trouser it is 12% and for shirt it would be 10%. In this way we have to identify that. That first he was talking about trouser, then for trouser it is 12% and afterwards he is talking about shirt, then 10% is for shirt. So let's found the 10% and 12% for the shirt and trouser over here only, because finding it in the end will make our calculation difficult. So what we have to do, we'll found the 12% of trouser material over here. Trouser cost rupees 90 to me or Hassan. What is to be asked? He is selling it at 12% more. That means he is selling at 112%. Yes, friends, I hope you all might be getting it. He is selling it at 112%. And he has bought it for 100%. Now what we can do, the things that we can do is here 9 into 112. If someone asks me how to solve, so 112 into 9 divided by 10, the result would be 100.80. What would be the result? 100.80. Yes, friends, because 112 into 10 we know 1120 minus 112, that would be 1008, and divided by 10 would be 100.80. that is the cost after getting or selling it at 12% profit. So what is the cost for the trouser now? Rupees 100.80. that is the cost for the trouser, rupees 100.80. I am writing over here what is the cost of selling, that is rupees 100.80. we have found this thing. Similarly for the shirt also will do. What is that? 50 meter he is selling, so he is selling it at 10% more. That means he is selling it at 110%, then and then only you will gain 10%. Yes friends, 0 gets cancelled and this 0 get cancelled over here. So he sells it at rupees 55 per meter. That means he is earning 5 rupees per meter while selling shirt cloth and 10.80 paisa of sell after selling trouser. I am writing over here that the cost of selling the shirt is rupees 55. Now we have found the cost for both of that. Now what we have to do, as per the meters used for selling or for the one uniform, we'll do according with that. Now what is to be said as 2 meters of cloth for trouser and 3 meters for shirt. Yes friends, that's the only thing he is doing over here in this question. So what we'll do over here is we'll multiply with them the cost, because the total cost he sells, the his total sale is given 36,660. That means total sale is to be given. So I have sold 2x meters. I don't know how many 2 meters clothes or the trouser I have sold and how many 3 meter shirts I have sold, and after selling all this material I have gained 36,660. So what we'll do, the equation now we will form over here is would be, what would be the equation friends? I am selling 2x, that means 2x is the cloth required for the trouser, so 2x should be multiplied with the cost. Yes, because the total cost is given, that's why I am multiplying it with the cost, plus 3x is the cloth used for selling the shirt and the cost for selling 1 meter is this, and the total cost that is to be given over here is 36,660. Yes friends, this is the total cost. Now what we'll do, we will do and start solving it so that we can find the answer properly over here. So 100 in 100.80 multiplied by 2, that would be 201.60. I am doing over here 100 2s are 200 and 0.8 2s are 160. So 201.60x plus 3 into 55, that would be 165. That means 165x, that would result in 36,660. That is given in the question also. Now we have to add both of them. Yes friends, how to add, that's also a difficult thing, because adding also becomes difficult when you add with the decimal numbers and simpler number. Now we can easily add 200 plus 165, that would be 365, and our answer would be 366.60x is the total material used, and 36660. Yes friends. Now afterwards what we can do, we can do and get the answer. As you can see that same number we are getting on both the sides, but then also we will solve as per the basic method we know, that is x equals to 36660 upon 366.60. Here point is to be after 2 digits, that means we can multiply it with 100 and remove the point over here. So what we'll do, we'll remove the point and multiply upstairs with the 100. So I multiply it with 100, so we can see same numbers, 1 za 1 za. So value for x, what we have got, we have got the value for x as 100. We have got the value for x as 100. Yes friends. Now how much trouser material did he buy? Now it is to be asked about the trouser material he buy was, what was the trouser material? 2x he bought. So what is the total material he bought? So 2x, that means 2 into x. So let's solve it over here. Only 2 into x, that means 2 into 100, it would be 200 meter is the trouser material bought by the Hassan. Yes friends, I hope you all might be getting it, and that was the little bit difficult type of question, but if you have understood it with the concept, then it would be easier for you to understand, because the calculation was easy and the numbers can easily be cancelled over here. That was the main aim of the question, so that you can read it properly step by step, and you need to solve it step by step only after reading the question. So let's begin with the third part of the third sum for the day, that is to be written over here. It is about half of a herd of a deer are grazing in the field. Yes, friends, half of the herd of a deer. Herd means the group of deers. Yes, are grazing in the field, and the three-fourths of the remaining are playing nearby. The rest nine are drinking water from the pond. Find the number of deer in the herd. That means total number of deer we need to find that are there in the herd. This sum we can say simple sum, but then also you need your concentration over here for understanding it properly. What is it? Let we assume that the number of deers would be x. Yes, friends, total deer are, that is deers total. Total deers are x. Deers, not peers. Yes. So total number of deers are x are the total number of deers. Now what is to be written? Half of them are grazing the field. Half means half would be x by 2 that are grazing. So I'm writing over here that half are grazing the field. Now what is to be said? And the three-fourths of the remaining, what is to be left? Total were x and half were grazing the field. Yes, friends, and three-fourths of that are playing. Playing means, now we will make the equation over here. Three-fourths of the remaining total were x, and what were grazing? X by 2 were grazing. Yes, friends, this is the thing that we have to keep in mind. Three-fourths of that. So what we will get? X minus x by 2, that would be x by 2 only. So total would be 3 by 8x. This is 2. Yes, you can solve it. So let's solve it for you in detail also. Here we will take the LCM, and then it will become, what it will become? 2x by 2 minus x by 2. Then it will become 2x minus x by 2. That would be x by 2 only. Yes, if you are capable of understanding it directly as like me, then I am going to explain you directly over here that how. Here, that is the, let us assume that x is the full chocolate. Full chocolate is there, x is the full chocolate, and you eat half chocolate at one time. That means what is the chocolate remaining with you? If you are having full chocolates and half chocolate you have eaten at one time, so the chocolate left with you would be half only. So directly from that also we can say that half chocolate is remaining. So by that method also we can do. So by that method only I am doing over here. So 3 by 4 x by 2, that means 3 by 8x are playing in the nearby over the field. Yes, friends, I hope you all might be getting it. X by 2 are grazing and 3 by 8x are playing nearby, and the rest 9 are drinking water from the pond. That means after adding this also we can say that the total number of deer we can find. So the number we have to keep in mind is, I am writing over here, 3 by 8 x were playing, x by 2 were grazing, and 9 were remaining. Yes, friends, so this is the number that we have to keep in our mind. Just after reading the question that comes in our mind. So I am erasing over here so that we can solve it and find the space for solving the sum properly. I hope you all might be enjoying and learning something new today. So what is to be said, friends? Total deers are two methods we can do. That means half were first grazing the field. These were the half that were grazing the field. Now plus 3 by 8x, or we can say it as 3x by 8 were playing, and the remaining were 9 that were drinking the water. So after that we can find that is total number of deers are x. Yes, friends, this is the equation that we can make, or the other equation. This is the only equation, or the other type also we can say, but that can be neglected because this is the easiest method of writing the equation. That means what I have written, again I am explaining you. This half were grazing. Yes, friends, I hope you all might be getting it. What I am going to write over here, this half were grazing, they were grazing the field, and this were playing nearby that, and these are the pond, drinking in pond. They were drinking water. Yes, friends, I hope you all might be getting it. This is the thing we need to understand properly over here. So what we are going to do after writing the equation, what we can do, friends, we can do that we can find the value of the total number of deers that were total in the herd. That's the only thing that is to be asked. Yes, so that thing we can do over here. So if you can understood and cleared your concept, you can pause the video and try to solve this sum by your own, because as we already made the equation, we have to just take the LCM. We will solve the equation and find the answer. Yes, the other thing we have to keep in mind, the x term should be on the one side or the other side. So LCM for 2 and 8 would be 8 only. So I'm writing over here, that is LCM would be 8 only. What would be the LCM for 2 and 8? 8 would be the LCM. So let's make the denominator 8. 2 should be multiplied with 4, so it will become 4x by 8. Directly I am doing how? As we need to multiply 4 on both the sides. What we are supposed to do? 4 multiplied by x upon 4 multiplied by 2. This is the thing that we are doing previously. 3x by 8 needs to be multiplied with 1 only, because in denominator it is already having 8, plus 9 should be multiplied with 8, and this should be also multiplied with 8, because in denominator nothing is there, that means 1 is there, and here x as it is. Now after what we are supposed to do, we'll take the numerator, denominator is common, that means all are having the denominator as 8, and the numerator will add it 4x plus 3x plus 9 is 72. Yes friends, this is the equation now we have formed. Now what we are supposed to do, what we are going to do friends, we just solve the equation. So I am erasing over here so that we can solve it and found the space for solving the equation properly over here. So let's solve it. So here 8 is in denominator. Yes friends, you all can see that 8 is in denominator over here, and after going that side it will become in multiplication. So that's the thing that we can do in our next step. 4x plus 3x also we can do it as 7x plus 72 equals to 8. After going that side will become 8x. Yes, now x term should be on the one side, as I have already told you that terms having x should be on the one side. Yes friends, 7x plus 72 equals to 8x. Now 8x is greater, so we'll take 7x on that side, that means 8x minus 7x, so the value for the x we'll get is 72. Yes, from this we can say that the total number of deers were x. That is the only thing that we need to find the number of deers in the herd. So the total number of deers were 72 in the herd. That is the question that is to be asked to us, and we have solved and get the answer for that only. I hope you all might be getting it. So friends, if you understood and cleared your concept over here, you can now pause the video and try to solve the remaining two sums by your own. Yes, and if you like the content, don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel also friends. So let's begin with the fourth sum for the day, that is to be written over here, and we are going to solve it over here. And if you are capable of solving it by your own, pause the video and try to solve the fourth and fifth sum by your own, as they are very easier type of sums. Her grandfather is 10 times older than his granddaughter. So for the granddaughter I will always assume for the smaller one, that is granddaughter. Granddaughter age is x, and grandfather, that means gf. Grandfather age is 10 times, that would be 10x. He is also 54 years older than her. Now what is to be given, that the difference is to be given, that his grandfather is 54 years older than her. So we can do one thing, that is his grandfather age is 10x, and if we subtract her age from this, we'll get the answer as 54. Or the other thing we can do is 10x is her grandfather's age, and if we add 54 to her age, she will become equals to her grandfather. This is the two equation we can make. Either of the equation we can make, because in the next step we'll definitely going to solve and get the answer easily. That's the only thing. So you can make any of the two equations. So I'll prefer that first equation is good for solving. So let's solve it as per the first equation. Now this is the equation we have formed. 9x equals to 54, and what we can do, 54 upon 9. Yes friends, so the value for x we will get as 9 6 is 54. The value for x is 6 years, that means granddaughter age is 6 years. Yes, I hope you all might be getting it, that how we have got the granddaughter's age, that means x age is 9 years. Now the other thing what we can do, granddaughter is grandfather's age, that is 10x. 10 multiplied by 6, that would be 60 years is for the grandfather's age, and for granddaughter it was It was X, that is 6 years. That is written over here. I hope you all might be getting it, and that was the easier type of sum, as you had done this type of sum in previous classes also. Yes, I hope you all have understood. So if you like my content, don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel. And if you are capable of solving the last sum by your own, you have to pause the video and try to solve the last sum by your own, as this is similar to the sum that we have solved just now. And I think you all are capable of solving it by your own also. So let's begin with the last sum for the day. Aman's age is 3 times his son's age. So what we'll assume? We'll assume for his son's age. Let Aman's son, that means Aman's son, that is AS, should be X years. Yes, and Aman's father, Aman's son, that is Aman's son is X years, and Aman age would be, I am writing Aman age would be 3 times of the son's age. That means 3x would be his age. 10 years ago, what is to be given? 10 years ago, he is talking about Aman. 10 years ago, he was 5 times his son's age. 10 years ago. So let's move it to 10 years ago. 10 years ago. That means we'll subtract 10 from both their ages. So Aman's son age before 10 years would be x minus 10, and Aman's age before 10 years would be 3x minus 10. Yes, friends, I hope you all might be clear till now. Now Aman's age is x years, so before 10 years it would be x minus 10, yes, and Aman's age now it is 3x, and before 10 years it would be 3x minus 10, yes. 10 years ago he was 5 times his son's age. Who was 5 times? Aman was 5 times, yes. So after that we can just form the equation. Aman was 5 times, so Aman's age I am writing over here, and his son would be 5 times. If we will multiply his son by 5, then both would be equal. Aman was 5 times old, so I have multiplied his son by 5 times. If I multiply Aman's son by 5, then both their ages would be equal, because Aman was 5 times that his son's age. So we have formed the equation over here. Now we will find their present age. What is their present age? That we have to keep in our mind. I am writing over here. Aman's son age is x, and Aman's age is 3x. We have assumed over here. Yes, and if we are asked before 10 years, so what we'll do? X minus 10 and 3x minus 10. But it is as present ages only, so before 10 years we don't need to write or keep in our mind. That was just for solution. So we have written and our equation. Now we all know how to solve the equation, so I am writing equation over here so that we will find the space to solve it properly. 5x minus 10, this is our equation. As you can see that I have written the same thing over here. Yes friends, so I am erasing from here. So now what we can do? We have to just solve it. Now we can see the distributive property. 5 should be multiplied with x, and 5 should also be multiplied with 10. This is the only thing that we can do. That would be our first step for solving the sum. Now 3x minus 10 as it is, and it would be 5x minus 5 should multiply with 10, that means 50. Now what we can do? Terms having x should be on the one side. Here 5x is greater, and so we will move 3x on that side. So minus 10 as it is, and 5x minus 3x minus 50. This we can do, friends. Now what we can do? 5x minus 3x would be 2x minus 50, and minus 10 as it is. Now minus 50 is on this side and having minus sign, so after going that side it will become plus 50 as per transposition theorem. So it will be 50 minus 10 equals to 2x. So 40 equals to 2x we can say over here. Value for x would be 40 divided by 2. That means value for x we are getting as 20 years is the present age of Aman's son. Now find the present ages. That means Aman's son age is 20 years and his age would be 3x. So let's find for the Aman's age over here. Yes friends, I hope you all have understood and cleared your concept over here, and if you like the content, don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel, as we are on to the merge of completing the sum. Aman's age is, what is Aman's age? 3x, that means 3 multiplied by 20. So Aman's age would be 60 years, and his son's age we have already written. Aman's son age equals to x equals to 20 years, that we have found from solving the linear equation. I hope you all might be getting it. So friends, if you like my content, don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching you all.